Arby's day at the zoo. One day, Arby went to the zoo to see the animals. At the entrance, she met one guard. Upon entering, she heard a loud roar. She turned around to see two lions in the cage. Moving forward, she came across three crocodiles who were sunbathing. Not far from there were four elephants taking a mud bath. They were a family with Mommy, Daddy, and two cute baby elephants. As Arby explored more, she ran into a big cage with trees. Jumping on the trees were 5 monkeys. Arby was hungry and sat down to eat in the zoo cafeteria. Opposite to the cafeteria were 6 peacocks. A little further, she ran into a pond. Swimming in the pond were 7 ducks. But that wasn't all. On the other side of the pond were 8 turtles. Near the zoo's exit was a dense area with many trees. Perched on those trees were 9 parrots. Just before leaving the zoo, Arby saw 10 owls sitting on a single tree. She had never seen so many owls together. Amazed with the sight, she came back from the zoo and repeated the number of each animal she had seen.
Baby, don't cry. Screeching, screaming, the baby cries. In a cradle on the floor, the baby lies. Mommy sings him nice lullabies, but the baby still has tears in his eyes. Hearing the cry, Daddy wakes up and opens the door. Smiling, he says, "Hey, little champ, your cry is louder than my snore." Mommy gets him a cute, soft toy, hands him a teddy bear to enjoy. But the baby doesn't cease to cry, be it Daddy, be it Teddy, or a nice lullaby. Then Mommy takes a look at baby's nappy and says, "It's wee-wee, now I know how to make you happy. Let's change your nappy. Oh, don't be shy. Dry and soft, the new nappy won't make you cry." Once Mommy is done with the chore, baby smiles, sleeps, and cries no more. Hare and the Tortoise. Once upon a time, a tortoise was walking on the road. A hare saw him and started laughing loudly. "Ha ha ha, look at you! You are so slow!" The tortoise got angry and challenged the hare to a race. The hare immediately agreed, saying, "Why not? I'm faster than you. I can beat you anytime." On the day of the race, the hare and the tortoise arrived at the starting line. The tiger waved the flag to signal the beginning of the race. The hare ran very fast, while the tortoise slowly followed behind. The hare was quite ahead of the tortoise in no time at all. He saw that the tortoise was walking slowly far behind him. The hare was so sure about winning the race that he decided to take a little nap under the tree. While the hare was dreaming, the tortoise continued walking slowly and went ahead of the hare. The hare woke up from his nap and saw the tortoise reaching the finish line. He started running, but it was too late. He couldn't reach there before the tortoise. The tortoise won the race. The hare started crying because he had lost the race to the slow tortoise. Moral of the story? Slow and steady wins the race. The Ant and the Grasshopper. One summer's day, a lazy grasshopper was chirping, singing, and enjoying the sun. The grasshopper saw an ant working very hard to gather food. The grasshopper called out to the ant,
"Stop your silly work and have fun with me."
"No," replied the ant. "I am gathering food for winter. I suggest you do the same." But the grasshopper simply ignored the ant. The grasshopper spent the rest of the sunny days having fun. When winter finally began, the grasshopper couldn't find anything to eat. He searched for food everywhere, but everything was buried under the snow. He remembered the hard-working ant. He went to her house and cried,
"I am hungry. I cannot find anything to eat."
The ant felt pity on him. The ant called the grasshopper inside and gave him food. The grasshopper ate happily and promised the ant that he would never sit idle in the days before winter. Moral of the story? Be responsible and prepare for days of necessity.
Once upon a time, Mother Duck was sitting on her nest. Her eggs she was keeping warm and doing her very best. So they would hatch and she would see ducklings so sweet. They all hatched but one who she did not get to meet. On hearing the ducklings quack, Grandfather Duck came to see. But Mother Duck was not as happy as she thought she would be. He heard about the unhatched egg and took a look at it. It looked like a turkey's egg and did not seem to fit. A few days passed them by and the egg finally cracked. The duckling that came out gave a very loud quack. He was ugly, looked different and was coloured white. Mother Duck thought that in the end everything would be alright. She took her baby The swan saw him and started to swim over to his way. They swam close to him. Hello, Mr. Swan, he heard them say. He did not know why they called him a swan, so he looked into the pond. He could not believe what he saw. It was like magic from a magician's wand. Looking back at him from the water was a swan so white. The ugly duckling was gone and left this beautiful sight. I am not ugly anymore, I am beautiful, the ugly duckling cried. The three swans were happy to be his friend, and he joined them with pride. The ugly duckling now had friends that loved him at long last. He was as beautiful inside and out, and now could forget his past. The four swans flew together across the lovely blue sky. All the children watching clapped and cheered as they passed them by. Once upon a time, Mommy Pig and her three little pigs lived in the woods in a house coloured blue. One day she checked her purse and was worried about what she would do. There was not enough money to care for the three little pigs, so she had no choice. You have to leave me and make your own fortune, she said in a very sad voice. Early the next day, the three little pigs left, and into the woods they did walk. A big bad wolf was watching them, but they were too busy with their talk. The big bad wolf was hungry and fancied the three little pigs to eat. The three little pigs carried on, and a man with straw they did meet. The first little pig said, "Please sir, can I have some straw from you?" The man said, "Yes you can, but tell me, what are you going to do?" "I am going to build my house from straw," the little pig said to the man. The man gave the little pig some straw and said, "That sounds like a good plan." The first little pig made a house from straw, and it was so good. The other two little pigs waved goodbye and headed into the woods. The first little pig went inside his house to try and have some rest. He sat there thinking to himself, "I bet my house will be the best." The two little pigs met a man carrying sticks as they continued to walk. The second little pig went up to the man and began to talk. "Please sir, may I have some sticks?" the second little pig did say. The man said, "Here you are, now run along and be on your way." The second little pig made his house from sticks and looked at it with such pride. The third little pig said goodbye, and the second little pig went inside. He was very happy with his house thought it would keep him safe even in a terrible storm. The third little pig met a man with a wheelbarrow filled with bricks. He thought to himself, they look much better than straw and sticks. Please sir, can I have some bricks? The third little pig did ask. The man said, of course you can. You have a very big task. The third little pig had to work very hard through the day and night to build his house from bricks and make sure it was just right. His house was stronger than the houses made from sticks and straw. The third little pig was very pleased, went in and shut the door. The wolf came to the first little pig's house. He looked in the window and knocked on the door. Little pig, will you let me come in? He asked as he knocked with his paw. The little pig said, no, never, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. Then I will huff and I will puff, the hungry wolf said, till I blow your house in. The big bad wolf huffed and he puffed and he blew the straw house away. The first little pig was scared and ran to the second little pig's house to stay. He hoped that the house made from sticks would be okay and last, until the big bad wolf's huffing and puffing had passed. The big bad wolf came to the second pig's house, and through the window he could see the two little pigs shivering with fright and as scared as they could be. Little pigs, the hungry wolf said, will you let me come in? No, never, the two little pigs said, not by the hair on our chinny chin chins. The big bad wolf said, then I will huff and I will puff and blow your house in. He huffed and he puffed and the big bad wolf did win. The house made from sticks was blown away and the two little pigs, shivering with fear, ran to the third little pig's house made from bricks, which was really very near. Three little pigs were all inside the house made from bricks, all hoping it would last better than the straw house and the one made from sticks. The big bad wolf stood outside and said, little pigs, will you let me come in? The three little pigs said, no, never, not by the hair on our chinny chin chins. Then I will huff and I will puff, the big bad wolf said, I will blow your house away. The hungry wolf huffed and puffed, but he did not get his way. The house made of bricks was stronger than the other two. The big bad wolf was angry, but he knew what he had to do. He was going to go down the chimney and get into the house that way. So the big bad wolf got a ladder to go in after his prey. He started to climb up and up all the way to the top. The big bad wolf was very hungry and was not going to stop. up down the chimney, and little did he know just what the three little pigs had set up down below. The three little pigs were clever and really bright. They had put a pot above the fire and now set the fire alight. The pot was right under the chimney, full of water, and it was starting to boil. The three little pigs were quiet. If the wolf heard them, the plan would be spoiled. Down the chimney the wolf did fall, and right into the pot. He howled in pain, and the three little pigs were so pleased they did a trot. The big bad wolf jumped out of the pan and ran out of the house. He was in a lot of pain and squeaking just like a mouse. The three little pigs were very happy and gave a little cheer. The big bad wolf had gone forever, so they no longer lived in fear. Once upon a time, on the edge of a big forest, lived a little girl with her mom and dad. Every time the little girl went into the forest, in a red hood she would be clad. The little girl felt so safe in that forest, all because of the red hood she wore. The little girl's name became Little Red Riding Hood, a name that she did adore. One day the little girl's mom baked a cake all tasty and sweet. It was a before her as he had a plan. The big bad wolf arrived at grandmother's place and knocked upon the door. Grandmother said, "Who is it?" She thought she knew, but could not be sure. The sneaky wolf changed his voice and said, "It's me, Grandmother, Little Red Riding Hood." Grandmother was so pleased to hear it was her and said, "Oh, is it you? That is good." The door was unlocked, so the wolf went in, and grandmother was shocked. She tried to speak, but because of the shock, her words were blocked. The wolf was so hungry, he swallowed grandmother up without even a chew. He then waited for Little Red Riding Hood to show up, wanting to eat her too. The wolf dressed himself in grandmother's clothes and jumped into her bed. He was so very hungry even though he had just fed. The wolf knew that it would not be long before Red Riding Hood would come there. He was very happy because 2 good meals in one day were rare. Little Red Riding Hood knocked upon grandmother's door. Little did she know that the big bad wolf was waiting in the house, waiting for her to show. "Grandmother, it is me, Little Red Riding Hood," she called out. "Come in, the door is open." In a changed voice the wolf did shout. Little Red Riding Hood did think grandmother did not look or sound the same. "Why, what a deep voice you have," she said, as the wolf spoke her name. "All the better to greet you with," the wolf said, "come closer to me." "My, what big eyes you have," she said. The wolf said, "All the better for me to see." "My, what big ears you have," she said. The wolf said, "All the better for me to hear." The big bad wolf said, "Little Red Riding Hood, come closer to me, my dear." "My, what big teeth you have," she said. The wolf said, "All the better to eat with." Little one, he jumped out of the bed and tried to pounce, but Little Red Riding Hood had started to run. Little Red Riding Hood was very scared, and from the house she ran and ran. She went as fast as she could until she saw a man. He was a woodcutter chopping wood, doing his job close by. A big bad wolf ate my grandmother. Little Red Riding Hood did cry. The woodcutter was very brave, grabbed the wolf and shook and shook. Grandmother came flying out with a rather worried look. She was scared and very shocked, but otherwise she was okay. The big bad wolf was upset and really did not want to stay. very frightening, and he was very mean. Dear sir, thank you, Little Red Riding Hood, and her grandmother said. He said to them, you are welcome, at least the wolf has now fled. Little Red Riding Hood just had to say, I'll never talk to strangers again.